Hey guys, how's it going? Living Vibrations here again. I had a quick message for you guys. It was from my service earlier that my pastor gave, amazing pastor. It's about, we've been doing like lessons of the greats right now. You know, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, you know, all those people. And today we were doing Moses, and specifically the part where, you know, they kind of wandered through the desert in the wilderness, whatever you want to call it, for 40 years, even though there's like a pillar of fire and a pillar of clouds, like telling them where to go, you know. And a lot of us as Christians, as believers, are just like stuck wandering in the wilderness. And so I just had this cool message. It's 4 easy steps that are all combined, so they have to be done all simultaneously. So you have to go through 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to go through, so you have to go through 1 to get to 2, through 2 to get to 3, through 3 to get to 4. But once you go to get to 4, you can't forget 1 or 2 or 3. You have to do them all at once. I think it's starting to drizzle. But so yeah, you can't forget any of these steps. You have to do all of them at the same time in order for them to work. But the first one is to know God. We have to know God in order for us to do anything in this life. If we're not spending intimate time with the Father, if there's not intimacy between this relationship that we have with our God that we speak so highly of, then what you have isn't truth at all. It's just religion. It's vain, self-righteous religion. That's all it is, and it will never be anything more than that. Once you dive deeper and you get into God's heart and you get to know Him and spend time with Him, that's when it becomes more than religion. That's when you can start setting your eyes upon His things, the things that He would have you do. The second one is find freedom. We have to find freedom from those things that are enslaving us, from those things that Jesus broke the shackles of. You know, we have to, he's gotten us out of Egypt, and now we have to get the Egypt out of ourselves, right? So like whatever it may be, whether it be lusting or lying or cheating or stealing or pride, that's a big one. You know, whatever it may be, we have to get those things out of our lives, and we can do so through the power of Christ, through the power of just being in relationship with God. He will remove those things from us. I talked about this before. I had this vision, you know, of like I've been spending so much time with God. I had this vision where God was grabbing a hold of my flesh and peeling it away from my spirit, and it felt amazing. It was like He was literally doing it in that moment. And that's all it takes. When we spend time with God and we're intimate with Him, He will take these things away from us literally, and we'll have no desire to do them anymore. And in fact, the things that are hidden from our eyes, that go under the radar, that we don't notice as sinful, He will reveal those to us, which is an amazing thing, because we have to realize what we're doing wrong so we can change it. And you know, a part of that is in the world, when people are in the world, you cannot hold what they do against them. We need to stop yelling at people for sinning. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, here's, you know, they're you know, whatever they may be doing. We have to stop yelling at people for sinning. They don't have what we have. They are literally still under the yoke of slavery to sin. They are slaves to sin. They don't know how not to. And the only reason that we know how not to is because we are in relationship with God, when we have Christ living inside of us. And so because of that, we're able to escape that bondage and break those chains, you know. But they're not. It's not even really their fault. They don't know any better. So we need to stop pointing our fingers and yelling at them, and just be loving, you know, perfect, well, you know, as perfect as we can be, examples of our God and our Father in our Christ, you know, our Messiah. So the next one is discover your purpose. We all have a purpose upon this earth. I know my purpose, and I'm sure that God will reveal more purposes to me, but a part of my purpose is doing this, you know, like making a few videos, and hopefully a few people will watch it and learn something from it or get help from it, you know. And it helps me learn to talk better and all that kind of stuff. And it's my purpose. Another purpose of mine is to be love upon this earth and love any individual that I come in contact with. And I fall short of that purpose, you know, sometimes, but that is my purpose, my goal. Another goal I have, a purpose that I have, is to write my father's story. I'm writing a book, you know, and so that's my purpose, is to get my father's story out there. We all have a purpose, and that leads to the fourth, which is make a difference. Through that purpose, we can change the world. So we have one, we have time with the Father, we have intimacy with the Father, which allows us to find freedom, which in turn allows us to find our purpose, which in turn allows us to change this world that is around us. So all of these things around, all those three things, knowing God, and finding freedom, and discovering your purpose, allow us to make a difference in this world. It allows us to change this world, which is the real reason that we're here. To be earth movers, to be people movers, to be earth shakers. Like, that is our purpose upon this earth, you know? We all have a purpose, and if you don't know your purpose, maybe it's time to go back to square one. Maybe it's time to go back to that number one thing, which is just getting intimate with God and spending time with Him, you know, and just loving Him. Get back to that first love, you know? I have to do it all the time. You know, even my pastor is saying, like, there's been times in his life where he's just had to go back to square one and see, like, I know my purpose. I know my way to change the world, to make a difference, you know? And sometimes it takes me getting back into that number one so I can act out 3 and 4, because I know my 3 and 4. God has revealed my 3 and 4 to me. So if I can just get back to 1 and just live that know your God, if I can live that and just never let go of it, like I said earlier, you have to do number 1 the entire time you're doing number 2, 3, and 4. You know, like, you have to always know God and God to know you, and to have this intimate time with Him. And if you're stuck, it's because maybe one of these steps is not missing. Maybe you never hit one right. Maybe you never found out. Maybe you never truly did one like you were supposed to. Maybe you truly never knew God, or started to know God, or had that intimate time with God like you're supposed to. You know, and if you've known God, if you're knowing God, and you're having so much intimacy with Him, and it's still not revealing your purpose, maybe it's because you're still under slavery of something. You know, maybe that there's something still holding you down that you're not realizing, or not admitting, or not letting go of. You know, and then once you know your purpose, and you're free from those things, and God reveals your purpose to you, but somehow you're not changing the world, maybe it's time to review. Maybe you need to go back to square one now, you know, and just get intimate with God, because something is off, you know. And so, yeah, that's basically my topic here is 1, know God; 2, find freedom; 3, discover purpose; and 4, make a difference, you know. And we do those all at the same time. You start at 1, you go to 2, you go to 3, and then go to 4. It was a great message. I loved it. I mean, I need it, you know, and life is hard. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, great week. Living Vibrations out.